To training video for you people out there with the Deus or those thinking about getting one, okay? Now, you see the old Manicore, Mind Lab hasn't released it yet. They've showed it, you know. I guess it's got this screen on it, you know, and it shows different stuff. Well, this Deus ain't got that. It's got an XY screen on it, but this XY screen on this machine, it may have a few useful things it can do, but it's not going to help you with what I'm going to show you here, okay? And for you people trying to buy a Deus and you think the XY screen is going to solve all your problems, think again, okay? Take it from old Sharpshooter. He's telling you the truth. It's not going to solve all your problems. Actually, it's going to solve very few of your problems. Probably cost you some good fines even trying to use it, in my opinion. So anyway, what this test here is about is, it's when you sweep over a target. Let's say you're in a site, and maybe you don't have that many targets in it. Maybe you've been in there before. Well, when you sweep over a target, how do you know how good the ID is? Maybe you get a target, and let's say you get a target deep high conductor reads 80. Well, that's not generally would be considered a high conductor, maybe 82. Well, you might just walk by that target, huh? You may say, well, that ain't no count. Well, what about if you went to fast program over that target and you seen the ID on that dude reading way different? That would tell you there's masking. High odds there's masking going on. So I'm going to give you a little demonstration here. Okay, now this is going to be ferrous masking I'm going to show you, but this applies to non-ferrous masking as well. I've got a 91 in the meter on that copper penny and fast. Deep high conductor, I've got a 90, okay? 89.90. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it in this program here. All right. Okay, so I got an 89 with a nail there. Now I'm sweeping across that nail like it. Now that nail is slightly off to the side and above that penny. Okay, 89. But when I go over here to fast program, look what happens. My ID now is dropped to 86, 87. Okay? It's altered the ID on that penny. So if I swept over this target, could I, now, something I should also note, I've got iron tone in this fast program. I've got iron tone, I mean pitch tones, and I've got iron tone maxed out. Maxed out, listen. You hear any iron in that audio? So you don't even hear any iron in that audio. You can't tell that nail is there, can you? Listen. You can't hear the nail. But you've got some masking going on based on that ID and that meter right there, okay? 87. If I remove this nail, ID jumps up 3 points, okay? Now, again, this is not absolute, but if you're in a site, let's say you got a low 80s reading target in deep high conductor and you flipped over to fast program. Wonder if you've seen a 75 or a 78. That would indicate some masking. Doesn't really matter what's causing it. What it tells you, don't believe the meter. And chances are the target, when it's recovered, will read higher, air test higher. So you could be looking down there at an Indian head penny. It could be an Indian head penny and deep high conductor on this machine that's being masked. Maybe it only reads 78. And when you go to fast program, you see the ID reading 72. There's a big disparity between fast and deep high conductor. So that might tell you, don't believe the meter. And chances are, whatever the meter's reading, if you get what's in the ground out solo, high odds it will read higher, not lower, okay? Now, this applies to modern trash, too, as well as iron, okay? Now, a lot of people would say, well, that sounds sort of corny, you know, check every target like that. Well, you don't have to check every target. It depends on, you know, if the site is getting down to a few targets, I don't want to be digging, you know, I'd rather dig a mass target that I don't believe the ID versus if I switch to fast program. Let's say I'm in the site and I get a 78 reading deep high conductor signal and I switch over to fast and I'm getting a 77 in the meter. Well, there's no masking going on. Chances are there's no masking going on. So why would I dig that for a high conductive coin? Okay? It probably wouldn't be there. Okay, now if I go over here into the deep high conductor program, I've got iron tone on. You don't hear no iron on that either. You notice? Listen. You hear a little bit. Now you really don't hear any. So the iron orientation, nail orientation can drive the iron tone, how it responds on this machine. And coil height. But you hear more iron tone in the deep high conductor on this scenario here than you do the fast. So, you know, somebody trying to, I'm bringing this up, if you're trying to listen for iron tone to decide if there's masking or not, that's probably not a grand idea. And just like using pinpoint to determine a target size, well, if there's masking going on, that might not be a grand idea either, because you're going to have a nickel and a dime close together. Okay, silver dime and a nickel close together. And you pinpoint, it's like, well, that's a big old target. I ain't digging that, but you've got two targets, low and high conductor down there. Okay? So you would be misled. Pinpoint can help you and it can hurt you too. But yeah, comparing the fast and the deep high conductor, I have done this on hunts, okay? I have recovered targets. I dug some targets that were reading lower than I would expect because of the disparity of the ID, I knew there was masking taking place. And sure enough, air testing, after I exhumed the target, it read higher in the meter than it did in the ground, okay? So that's a little trick there. That's really the only guide you have on this machine to judge masking, is to compare the programs, okay? Now, that's just my opinion, you know. Maybe somebody else has got a trade secret out there they haven't told anybody, but that's all I've figured out on this machine as far as the masking goes. Now, you could use the park program, but I'd rather use the deep high conductor compared to the sensitive or the general or the fast programs because of the larger differences in the frequency, okay? So I hope you enjoyed.